Okay, Mrs. Harris, the stage is all yours.
Okay, we're going to make a tiramisu meringue roulade today. Normally I make these with just cream and lemon curd whisked together because that's a bit quicker. But anyway, thought we'd try something a little bit different. So dead easy there again, 5 egg whites in the machine. Okay, we're going to whisk those up until they're stiff. And again, I won't subject you to the beating. So, as they say. So I'll just turn this on, whisk the egg whites till they're nice and stiff and shiny. And
so is everything nice and stiff?
Is that it? Is that it? Are we good to go? Once that's whipped and it's nice and stiff, we're going to add the sugar about well, they say a teaspoon at a time, but I have to say I get a bit impatient. So in fact, I add it more like a good dessert spoon at a time. So again, we're going to put the beater on and add the sugar.
Your hair looks nice.
Good lockdown hair. Okay. Okay, I'll just carry on doing that and then we'll come back to you in a moment or two. Beating and whisking till things are lovely and stiff and shiny. Anyway, so it looks pretty much like that.
Ooh.
And then we're going to scrape that into our prepared baking sheet. And I've put some baking parchment on it. We're going to scrape that onto there. And we've set the oven at about 170 or 180. I'm going to say 180 because my oven's a bit weird. So we just scrape that out onto the sheet.
Did you drink all that wine this morning?
Yes, and I... Okay, videos today being done by my partner in crime, Sally. And Sally is going to make some things as well for you to make. Nice and easy recipes for the utterly easy. This is rubbish. I've got the most rubbish, useless baking parchment, which is apparently catering baking parchment, utterly useless because it's not wide enough. But anyway.
What do they say about workmen and blaming their tools?
Blaming their tools. So we just scrape that around. And that was 5 egg whites, failed to say that, just realised. 5 egg whites and 10 ounces of caster sugar. So we'll just scrape that around on the baking sheet. And then I know meringue roulade sounds like it's potentially going to be hideous to do, but it really isn't. It's an absolute doddle. Just got to be slightly brave. And there we go, that's ready to go into the oven. And we're going to cook that for about 15 or 20 minutes. There we go, that'll do. Scrape the last little bits out. And then, yeah, we're just going to cook that for about 15-20 minutes. Sometimes I leave it a little bit longer if I don't think the top is... It has to feel quite crispy.
You're not going to give that bowl to the dogs?
No, I thought you and I'd share it. Anyway.
You normally do.
In the oven. There we go. No, we're good to go for a minute. Right
Okay,
then.
Mrs. Harris, put that glass of wine down.
Okay, we're good to go. Okay, so when we fill our meringue roulade, I've got a nice chocolate ganache there, which is about I don't know, 6 to 8 ounces of dark melted chocolate with 4 tablespoons of instant coffee, which has been melted in about 3 tablespoons of boiling water. Mix that together, so that's ready to go. That took but a few moments. And then we're going to beat up 200 mils of double cream, about 150 grams, I've no idea what that is in ounces, of mascarpone, 2 ounces of muscovado sugar, dark muscovado, chuck that in there as well. And then about 3 tablespoons of, actually we're using a lovely sweet sherry here, but you could use a coffee liqueur, doesn't really matter, but we thought this might be rather nice. So anyway, so we've gone with that.
It's because she drank all the coffee liqueur as well.
And then we're going to whiz that up. And then this is all done, so it's all ready to go for when your meringue comes out the oven in a moment. So we'll just beat that up till it's nice and thick. Sorry, beating going on again. And just let that beat up for a minute. So we'll come back to you in a moment.
Okay, so this is the bit where it could all go terribly, terribly wrong.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Have you got the video on?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
I just needed to get that in.
Oh. Well, we point this out the oven, and it's got a lovely little crispy topping to it, so that's all great.
Oh,
So
there's the chin.
This is the bit you just need to be a little bit brave at. Could all go horribly wrong here. Anyway, I always grab it like that, because
Like
then it's good to flip. And we go over to, I put a couple of sheets of baking parchment on the work surface there, and we're just going to go just like that.
Like a newborn baby.
We lift that off, and that's it, pretty much. And then we just take off the baking parchment, and then we're just going to let it cool a little bit before we put the cream and the ganache on. Otherwise, if I put the cream on, that's just going to melt, which wouldn't be great. So just get the corners up, and then just peel it back. Just don't worry about it really. And it's fine if it cracks, it's allowed to crack, so when you roll it up, sorry about the noise, there we go, and that's ready, and then we'll add the cream in a moment.
It's beautiful.
It is bloody handsome, isn't it? Are you speaking?
Yeah. I was just thinking how much this reminds me of you putting on your makeup.
So we put on our mascarpone cream down through the whole of the roulade. So that's just about it for the mascarpone cream. I didn't think you'd want to watch me putting mascarpone cream down the whole roulade, as it was going to take forever.
No, believe me, it was painful.
So that's that bit done. Dogs! Dogs! Oh look, here's Jane. Oh, we'll stop for a minute then. Lovely ganache that we made earlier. And I'm just going to sort of drizzle that up and down, really. I think that's probably going to have the right sort of effect.
Just because she's too lazy to do it properly.
And we want things utterly easy. So we'll just literally do that with that lovely chalky ganache. And then we're going to get to the rolling up part. But, I mean, that's pretty, there's a lot of coffee in this, so it's really lovely, actually, because we've tasted it, obviously.
Oh, some of us have.
So, licked our fingers, all the usual. There's a bowl for the dogs. God, that'll kill them off. Anyway, that's probably about it. So, cool. Okay, so that'll do. That'll do. Right, now the easy bit is, don't worry about it. Okay,
Easy
screw
bit.
that bit up at the end, just to start your roll. There we go. And then just be quite brave about it, really, and fold the first one in. And once we've got the first one in, we're on it, and we just roll, just like that. Let the paper do the work. There we go. All done. Get our serving plate.
And in the sink it goes.
Yeah, the reason I do it by the sink is because once I've got this far, I just slide it on. And there we are. One tiramisu meringue roulade, done and dusted.
Marvellous. Marvellous.
Voila. I was just going to mention that really get this round the right way. When you come to flip the meringue onto the paper, yes, be brave, but just try and remember, God, it's still hot, this bag. Try and remember that you've got to hold it that way. So with your oven gloves on, whatever you do, don't hold it that way, because you can't flip it. So when you pick up your pan, hold it that way, then you've got it, and you literally just flip it in one movement. So it's super quick. Don't think about it. Oh, a bit dusty there. Don't think about it. Just do it. And the last thing we're just going to do to our little tiramisu is just going to put a little bit of cocoa powder and a bit of sprinkly.
Super.
And that's it, ready to go, ready for sups. Okie dokie.
Lovely.